Hello there. My name is Louis, aka Louis the Frenchy Winnet, and obviously, you're watching Schmoedown Night in Canada. On tonight's show, we're talking about Claudio Adolphe versus the Warfather. With me today, it is my man Soda, and also, he's on full-time on this episode, is Dave. How are you, Mo?
I'm doing good, Louis. I'm coming to you live from the newly built Studio Soda.
Nice, and I see you're rocking a good old Detroit shirt.
Yes, sir. My Nick Lidstrom jersey.
Nice. And you, how are you, Dave?
I watched last week's show, and it's clear I can't take more than 1 week off. Anarchy, facts being wrong, stats being wrong. You guys need me more than I need you, apparently, and don't forget it.
I will never forget it.
You need us, you just don't know it yet, sir.
Yeah.
All right, but we definitely need you. We need to get back on track. It was fun having a two-way conversation, but I have to be honest, I miss that logo.
Aw, Lou.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Ditto. There's nothing like staring at that sexy logo.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
Newly redesigned sexy logo, I should say. Thank you
right.
again, the Schmo Way. All right, so let's go right straight into it like usual. Our standouts of Claudio Adolphe versus Warfather. Did anything like pop up to you?
For me, just Warfather's character. I thought it was already well rounded as compared to like last week where you said you thought Parker's was fully formed. I actually think Warfather's was more there this week.
I don't know how to say this. We're going to be contrarian again. I found he was something too offbeat. I understand what he was doing, but it felt like not on par. I get what he was going for. It didn't seem genuine to me.
Okay.
I don't know. It felt forced a tiny bit, to be honest with you. Like the whole over dramatic. He didn't seem like comfortable with the over dramatic. You can see he was like thinking it at the same time. So I don't know. I see what they're going for, but I don't think it's landed 100%.
Yeah, there were moments where you can tell his timing was just a little off.
Yeah,
but I personally like the character. I saw him and my old school wrestling mind was like, hey, it's the Berserker. For those who watch early 1990s WWE,
if you say so.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Dave?
Well, just to piggyback off what Soda was saying there, I'm a big fan of the Warfather's character, calling Mark Ellis war son, calling Burnett his war advocate.
Yeah.
I think I didn't love him last season when he first debuted in that triple threat Inner Geekdom match, but something about the pairing of him and Burnett really just makes it be like, yeah, you know what, this guy, if he's going to be in the Schmoedown, he needs to be standing next to Burnett. And I am impressed by his level of over theatricality.
Yeah, maybe that was on purpose. Just for me, kind of sticked out. But to be honest, yeah, there's a couple good quips that I have to agree that were well placed, and other things that just seemed forced. But yeah, he was like a 60-40 for me on hitting and miss. And something else that stood out to me is, well, more like less of a standout, more like a realization. Corruption is deep doo-doo.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong.
Again, if you're listening to this is just my opinion. I never really liked the Corruption's manager. The
Get
Queen,
out.
I'm just saying, she always rubbed me up the wrong way. Her character, don't know her in real life, but I just didn't felt, she had a place a bit. And I don't know who said it. I think it was Roka that said, since you've been reigning into in corruption, Michael Nowski lost. Your faction lost twice before even the season 7 started, and the losses just keep racking up. So I don't know if just bad luck or she's not, gelling well with her faction, but just something doesn't set right with me.
Well, I personally think off of this match, it was bad luck because second round for Shannon, or not for Shannon, for Claudia was amazing. Like, she swept musicals. Like, very few people do that. She went into round. She finished that round with like a 10-point lead, going into Warfather's set. So I mean, it was just it was bad luck. Like, if you look at that 3-pointer in round 3, that is one of the hardest 3-pointers I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know, true.
Like, that was just like, holy crap! Like, you have to really know your shit to pull that one out.
Oh no, but that's the thing. You're on Schmodown, so you better do know your shit, you know. But at the same time, it was her match to lose, and she lost it because she dominated round 2. So she had a late, a heads up, and it just slipped through her fingers. And that's the thing I find with Shannon's team is there's a lot of that. You know, there's a lot of like good moments, and then something crumbles.
Yeah, they haven't been able to seal the deal. Yeah, that Aaron Eckhart 2-pointer for Claudia was a little rough, but no, I guess that 3-pointer. There's very few people that would have been able to hit that.
I wonder who did, like the competitors who watched the episode. I wonder who actually got that, because it was a really hard one.
Yeah, for sure. You got it, Dave?
I knew it. I did. That's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I've never even heard of the movie.
I have family who are big foodies.
Oh, okay.
A movie about food, and it's one of Helen Mirren's better recent performances.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
It's definitely an underrated movie. It's very charming. It's very charming. It's very, it's how can I say this? It's not a road travel movie, but it has a bit of that vibe. Because she is discovering herself at the same time.
Okay.
So it's really good. But yeah, it was not an obvious.
Yeah.
You had to see the movie, or at least remember the poster. You know?
Yeah. I'll have to look it up and watch it then. I knew all the musical questions.
I only knew Mary Poppins.
I knew every single one of them.
Because you still have joy in your heart.
Yes, I do.
Which I don't.
Yeah.
No, but okay, yeah.
Grease 2 is one of my favorite It's So Bad It's Good movies, I will admit.
I think I just blocked it on my memory. I forgot it existed until that question got asked.
I love the soundtrack to that movie. It is so good. The tunes in that are just so awesome.
All right. Okay, so let's go round it out again. What did Warfather hit again in the second round? I forgot.
ScarJo.
Yeah, he got Scarlett Johansson, and I know he didn't sweep the round.
No, I was surprised how well he still did, and just as a whole, because we saw him IG, right? So transitioning into singles, I was surprised. Like we talked about last time. At first, I thought it was me that made an error. It was like, okay, the actually putting in singles, or what's going on here? And yeah, so the transition, and he was good, but he, it was kind of a fluke. I find he won. The way he won, and especially with Claudia Adolph's run in round 2, he wasn't supposed to win, and I don't think he's going to be a main competitor for singles. He's going to be someone who can rack up a point here and there, but is on a Makuga level, or he's like C+ type of player.
Well,
yeah, he's a player that'll probably do better in teams than singles.
Yeah,
it's interesting that you guys are saying that, because he actually if you look at the schedule, the winner of this match actually goes on to play Brett. So Warfather's going to be playing Brett next.
Huh.
Is that? I thought Brett was playing Goddard.
No.
They're avoiding.
Earlier on in the season.
Oh, right, yeah, because they're the same faction. Yeah, I remember now.
You see, that's interesting. I don't know who to put my money on.
For Brett or Warfather? I'm going to go Warfather.
Easy Warfather.
Yeah.
Nothing against Brett. I love Verdenflaus, but
those are two different characters.
Whatever.
But yeah, that's actually good question. Are they gonna mix the Verdenflaus thing, or are they gonna keep it shared?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past Harloff.
Yeah, but I don't get it, to be honest. It annoys the crap out of me. I really don't get that character. I keep getting invited in the Flaus Facebook group, and I keep declining it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It's definitely not for everyone, but I wouldn't put it past Harloff.
But oddly enough, I'm putting Sheridan.
Really?
Yeah. Something about the kid, or the kid, he's older than me.
He's almost 50.
Young spirit of heart.
Yeah.
That kid. Yeah. I like the guy. I don't know. He might lose, but I think it's going to be tighter than we expect because Warfather is good, but if he spins a category he really is not good at, and Sheridan has an okay round 2, let's say, it might be closer than we think.
Yeah, and I could definitely see Brett studying quite a bit more. But, yeah. I got Warfather on that one.
All right. Dave, did you see anything stand out, like stat-wise or anything of note?
Something very interesting to point out is Claudia Dolph's round 2 lasted 74 seconds.
It did seem pretty fast. Like, she didn't have to think about any of those.
Which I think is actually it looks very impressive, especially when you go 8 of 8. But I think, and I believe it was Harloff on the desk who invoked Ethan Irwin, saying, "Oh, this is very reminiscent of seeing Ethan Irwin and what he used to do when he first debuted and would get a category he likes." But I think it's very dangerous as a rookie, especially in your first game, to get into the habit of not taking your time and not thinking about the answers, even when you know them. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Just because if you get into those bad habits, those are the kind of things that can sink you down the line. And I was expecting to see a too quick answer happening in the 3rd round. Now, the exact opposite happened where she took multiple choice, or not multiple choice. She took a repeat every time, but it's still interesting, especially if she had, say, got a dance movies question in the 3rd round and then answered too quickly because she was sure she got it and had that high from answering all those questions in the 2nd round.
This is what I mean, though, for Shannon, like, not doing. And if I would see even though she's on a run, even though I see my player going like way too fast and cutting up, and I would step in and be like, okay, you might know this category, but this might be a slip up. If you slip up on a category, because you're going too fast, it's gonna break your confidence. Shannon doesn't seem to like willing to try to modify her better character. She's like letting them too much do what they want, I
wonder if that's what happened in Claudia's round 5 question, because it was a musical question. It was for Mary Poppins Returns. So I wonder if maybe that's what happened.
Well, no, she took her repeat on that I believe, and she thought it through. I think the difficulties there more lies in she doesn't seem as up to date on current films or films in the last few years. Because if you look at her round 1 misses, a lot of her misses come from the Baby Driver question and and the Call Me By Your Name instead of Call Me By. She said Call Me By My Name and stuff. So it may be a situation where I'm not sure what Claudia Dolph does professionally, but if she's not actually in the movie space, she might not be as familiar with the goings on now.
Now, that being said, who do you see? Because I think she needs.
Well, she's an actress and a writer.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, I'm on her IMDb page. She's an actress and a white writer, so she is involved. It was probably one of those caught in the lights things.
Yeah. But that's what I was going to say, too. She might need someone to calm her down, to fill in her gaps. Who on Corruption do you see Claudia Dolph going with in teams?
Well, who's all on Corruption, right?
I have the list.
Oh, yeah, perfect. My man.
So, obviously, there is the team Corruption, Mike Kalinowski, Chance Ellison. Yeah. Not taking either one of them. Mark Edward Hoyk and Elliot Dewberry are already teamed up in the Experiment. Next up is Laura Kelly, Star Wars player. Don't see her playing there. There's Clee Wiggins, who we saw face off against the Barbarian. I think she did pretty well, so I wouldn't be surprised. Rick Ramos, who
funny thing about that match, Harloff revealed it not that long ago in SCN. That was last minute. It was supposed to be somebody else who was supposed to face the Barbarian. So Claudia literally was sitting in the audience because, if I'm not mistaken, she's dating what's his face?
That guy,
Ed Greer.
Ed Greer. Yeah, so she was just in the audience, and it was very last minute.
Which, given she still didn't perform great, but I think she did a lot better in round 1. So this could be someone who you put with a Claudia Dolph. Other than that, she's got Marisol McKee.
IG.
Marisol
McKee. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rick Ramos.
Yeah. But you see, oddly enough, I don't think the experiment works.
You mean Markia McCarty?
No. No, it's
Marisol McKee. Yeah. Oh, that's another rookie.
Yeah. But again, IG.
Is she?
Yep.
No, it says singles right here.
Really?
Yeah. Probably your best bet would probably be to go with Clee Wiggins.
You see, it's funny, but first of all, I thought Marisol McKee was in the fan leagues in IG, but okay, maybe I'm mistaken. But I honestly would break up the experiment, and I would put Dewberry with Claudia Dolph. Because
they still need to lose 2 matches in a row.
True.
So one more match, right?
2.
They lost.
They lost the first one.
Yeah, they lost to Final Exam.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and who do you see? Who's on the Drews that we can put Warfather with?
Let's see. James White is teaming up with Ethan Irwin. We haven't seen that yet. Mm-hmm. We have Deep 13. They're not getting split up.
You could probably go with the Kroll. Like, according to the website here, he's not committed to any division, which is weird.
Yeah, Justin Kroll would be an interesting pick.
There's a lot of people talking good about him. He has some good background. So, yeah, I actually would see Kroll. Again, it really depends on his strengths. If they're exactly the same as Warfather's, maybe not. So it depends on where he plugs in. But, yeah, I've heard enough good things about Kroll that you might be right. Yeah. All right. And, okay. So, yeah. You know what? Let's go to the second part. Whenever you're ready, Dave.
It's faction standings.
Yay, faction standings.
All right. So, next 3, and sadly, last 3 recorded matches right now is Rockstars versus Swag, Dungeon versus Rockstars, and Dan versus Murphy Mouse. Murphy Mercs. Wow, I'm tired.
It used to be the Mouthy Mercs. I can see why you got confused.
So
there's the Quirky Mercs.
Yeah, goddamn copyright.
True, Quirky Mercs, my bad. So Rockstars have 2 matches, so they have a potential moment to actually break the 3-way tie for 4 points. Mm-hmm. Usual suspects obviously are not in the running, and the Dungeon, has their match against Rockstars. So there's a lot of things that can shift right now. As we said, if you go back down, Dave, please. I'm going to go start by down. Down.
Other way.
The other down. All right. All right. So Corruption, Mercs, Dungeon. I like what the Dungeon's doing. Again, with Robert Parker, it won't take long for them to rack up the points. I'm not afraid. The Quirky Mercs, they haven't had that many matches. Corruption is a problem. 5 matches and only 1 win. Not even a spectacular win. You had got a 2-pointer. So if it was like a TKO, okay, you have the Dungeon situation. They're at 2 points.
Yeah, they really need Kalinowski and Ellison to win if they want a chance of getting out of last place.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just have this gut feeling something might be a bad year again for Kalinowski, or I don't know if it is the case. Bye bye the Corruption.
Yeah, no kidding. Which if you're going into the season, you wouldn't have said.
No, but again, it's just something about Shannon. It's just I don't see her. She a lot of people, complain about Ken Knapsack and he didn't manage completely, but they still had a good run,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that corruption might get dissolved, and it might be Shannon's fault.
Maybe, but you got to remember when they went on their run, it was really just like a couple players, not a whole faction, too, right?
No, true. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
I'd just like to say about corruption, though. When you look at corruption, and I forget if this was a point brought up on Backstage or maybe it was the rundown. With the exception of that one win in teams that they have, Chance Ellison and Mike Kalinowski have not had a singles match yet. Chance has said that he is going to be debuting. Not debuting. He's going to be committing more to Inner Geekdom this year. So really, you look at this, and it's mostly their lower draft picked players who have been getting them their losses. I wouldn't be surprised when we start seeing, because Kalinowski is probably 2 matches away from a number one contenders match if he wants it. And he's walked away from IG for the time being, but he's got a number one contenders shot whenever he wants to go back there. So I think right now we're looking at corruption, but they haven't been playing with their top dogs. They've been playing with a lot of their lower seeded players. And I think that's why you see people like the Finstock Exchange doing so well. Their top seeded guys are playing.
But that's a problem, though, because you need a bit of your lower ranks to rack up a bit of points. Look at Burning Dukes, D13 was not supposed to win. D13 was their B team, and they won. So you kind of need, if you want to be in the top 3 or upper, you kind of need your B players to win. If not, if you're just relying on your top dogs, you're not going to get far. Unless you get TKOs. Yeah,
you can't always rely on just your franchise players, but you do have a point when those two start playing, you will definitely see them rack up more points. But you do need better showing from your supporting cast, and unfortunately, at this time, that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Here, if we're going to other factions, Quirky Burks, I don't know. We haven't seen them much. With having the last match of right now recordings, Den versus Quirky Mercs. Who was the players again for Den versus Quirky Mercs?
It's the Pride versus Real Rejects.
Yeah, I see that.
Oof. And you see, the Pride is going to win, personally.
Yeah.
So right there, if that happens, boom, you got another 0, still at 3 points. Something's got to give.
Yeah, but I wouldn't rest on the Real Rejects, though. Yeah, they've lost quite a bit, but...
They went double perfect in their last game.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to pull out the win.
But again, it's like they're on a stride. The Pride with, Goddard and Silvestrini, something about their chemistry really goes well. They both have the same hunger. And also, they just seem to be well-rounded, because that's one thing I realized with Real Rejects. They're good, but they seem to have the same strengths in a sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Pride is like, they fit in. It's not always just equal. So if they fall in a category, the Real Rejects that both don't know, well, they're kind of screwed.
You know what just dawned on me? I'm pretty sure the Real Rejects are the longest serving team right now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they've been around. Never been broken up. They've come close, but they've never been broken up.
So why don't we talk about them that as often?
Well, they didn't
have 1 win.
Yeah, well, 2 wins now, and they didn't play last year.
True.
I think Alba played Alba for sure played in the free for all, because that whole fiasco with the Stars Born entrance. But I know John Humphreys didn't play, so yeah,
he played in the free for all.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, like, outside of that, I don't recall them playing any matches in over a year.
No, their last team's match was against Double Toasted. So that was
that was a long time ago. So that's why we haven't been talking about them, because they've just been kind of in the background, right?
True. But again, it really depends on if they win or not. But the Quirky Mercs, if you were Cody Jandu, would you start doing a trade?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would trade?
Well, I'll have to take a look at their team.
What about you, Dave?
I think you have to, especially now that you've lost Now that you've lost Mara Konopik for the time being.
She's been deactivated. That leaves 3 roster spots open. So he doesn't really have to trade. He could draft 2 more players.
Yeah, but who?
I think
there's hidden gems somewhere. Who?
I think that your only real bargaining chip, because obviously you're not going to trade Shazam. That's what you need right now. You need to keep Shazam for the day that they get their number 1 title shot or their number 1 contender shot. I think an interesting trade would be Tim Franco. I think that's a player that a lot of people sleep on. He's a good team. He's a solid teams player. He has one KO in singles. So if you can get him a couple more matches in singles, I think he could be a valuable asset.
Could be, but the problem with him though is he's an out of town player.
Yeah,
that's true. But do we say that about Paulo Yum or Chance Ellison?
No, that is true.
Yeah, no, true. It depends how easily gettable he is, but yeah, okay, no, I would start trading too, but that's the thing. Like, does he do a big man move by doing Shazam? Because you need something going. Because you can get something interesting still with Shazam. It doesn't have to be like a team. It can be 3 players, and 3 solid players to equal as that.
Going back and looking at their team. I take mine back. I wouldn't trade. I would definitely pick someone up on the waiver wire. And yeah, you're right. Tim Franco is a good choice. I just wish there was a list of other players that were available.
But that's it. Yeah, that's the thing. There's like who, unless
I have a suggestion for that. I think a interesting person. He's another out of towner, and I don't like when people are relying on out of towners. But I think Robert from Late to the Party, if he's still interested in playing, is a very good get for any faction. I recently, I'm a patron of Team Actions, and they've been doing Action Rewind, where they're going back and watching all their old matches. Yep. They recently did their 1 versus Late to the Party, and
that was early in their career. Yeah,
I forgot how impressive Robert was, and then you remember that not only did Late to the Party play then, they also beat Critically Acclaimed.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, knocked them out, the bracket buster.
Yeah.
So basically, you take him and you put him with Franco.
Yeah, because wasn't Franco affiliated with Late to the Party?
Yeah,
he is. I think that could be an interesting team up.
If I'm not mistaken, Robert and Vanessa are both still available. Like, I think they were in that list at the draft.
If they were, then I think you can pick up late to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Now it might be a matter of interest in playing, but I think that would be a good move for Coy.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's a great move.
Along with, I think, a trade of Tim Franco to get some kind of IG representation, because right now they just don't have it.
Well, then who would you trade for Franco?
Well, that's it. You got to look at maybe getting some lower tier talent.
Yeah,
I would do something. I would go for Janine.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Get her out of the suspects.
Yep. I don't know. So like something with what happened before, like when she was like the mouthpiece, with like the second in general. I don't know. There's something about bad vibes I feel right now with the Usual Suspects. Okay. It's not gelling as it should be, and I just see her like going more with the Mouthy Mercs. I don't know. I just see her fit, and I still think she has something to prove, and might need someone who's a bit more present than Sam right now to really work with her. And I find that could be Coy Jandreau.
Okay, that's definitely out of left field, but definitely not a bad pick.
Well, I like left field, so.
Yeah, okay.
I feel the judgment, sir.
No. That's not a bad choice, actually.
All right. That being said, we talked a lot about Dungeon, right? So let's skip the Dungeon for this time.
We've given the Dungeon enough airtime.
Oh, yeah. And with reason, right? But on to the next. So Rockstars. Rockstars is hit and miss right now.
But again, only 3 matches.
Yeah, only 3 matches. But Snyder again, I'm gonna repeat myself. Broken record.
You think he's past his prime?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, Snyder. he gives up way too easily.
Yeah.
There's no drive in the kid. I feel bad for Andrejko. Andrejko, put him with a better teammate. He deserves. He has that hunger. He has that knowledge. Snyder's bringing him down.
You think?
Yeah, I honestly think.
Okay. Yeah, I do think Schneider is past his prime too, but I wouldn't count him out just yet.
I think this is last season.
Okay, fair enough.
Honestly, what about you, Dave?
As for the Rockstars, I don't have anything to add to the Snyder conversation. He is the greatest teams player of all time.
Yeah, no argument.
Double,
there.
double teams, two teams, two championships. But I think the rest of the Rockstars, it will be very interesting now as we see next week's match as the Rockstars B team comes out, see what kind of damage they can do. Yeah. Rockstars is always a trepidatious team for me with the JTE pick and the Vejvoda pick, but now that I'm seeing Vejvoda is actually playing, I think it will be very interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, Vejvoda and Haybom might be the saving grace right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Vejvoda, as he proved when he was with Top That, is an extremely competent player. Like, that dude is a monster.
What about usual suspects? The usual suspects, in my opinion, are a mess right now. They just they lost Beguini, guys on his own. What is going on? Janine seems to be a bit, left and right. There's a bit of fiasco here. Are they going to be able to recover?
Oh yeah, for sure. They just all got to get on the same page. We're not even at the halfway point of the season. They still have a little ways to go to turn it around. So I think it could be done. If
the five horsemen can go back up the mountain when they were doing really bad and go back to the championship, they can definitely do it as well.
Yeah, I'm not worried. They got a few heavy hitters on there, so they should be good.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, you look at someone like you look like Jader, who's coming off a win. Andrew Guy, whenever this all gets back and going, he's going to be playing Mike Kalinowski. So you have people on that squad who are going to be getting matches. Janine and Atchity are also people. Atchity is a guy who I think when you pair him up with a strong player is someone who can get you those wins. I think the loss of McQueenie obviously is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
But I think Sam and the Burning Jukes, Sam and the usual suspects, I think, they have the pieces to make a winning squad. They're just not all in the right place.
Yeah, for sure. Like, looking at Atchity, he's a good player. Just what he needs is someone to rein him in. Like, I love Great Drake, but I think those two were, even though they went to a title match, I think those two were a mismatch of players because they were both into the over theatricality and stuff like that. Atchity needs someone to ground him.
Is Janine that person?
Yes, I would say so because she does do the theatricality, but but that ends when the match starts. Yeah, so I think it would be a great team together.
Now, I would be interested to see how well they fit together knowledge-wise, if they really counterbalance themselves, because that's the thing, they're good, they're both good, but you can have good players and you just don't mesh well knowledge-wise. So it's really interesting to see in the future if that works.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Dave, for usual suspects?
No, I'm good.
All right. Burning Drews. What a surprise. 6 points.
No kidding.
But again, surprise. Yes and no. I called out on first episode that people are counting them way too fast out. And with reason, there's a bit of luck. Like Warfather, yeah, he kind of got lucky there. But a win is a win. A point is a point. They're up to 6 points. And having two really good teams on his faction is really his strength right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you think they're going to stay middle pack though, or do you think they can make a run for it eventually?
I think I wouldn't put them middle of the. I wouldn't put them winning, but I definitely put them top 3.
Okay, all right.
I totally agree. I totally agree with Soda because you look at where they are right now. You have Ethan Irwin, who is in number one contenders match against Roca. Christian announced that when this all gets started back up again, you're going to have Deep 13 playing Final Exam.
That's going to be a title, like a knockout drag out fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you have other players like Warfather, who I think, especially if he's going up against Sheridan, might get those wins. I definitely see them finishing in the top 2.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. And that being said, talking about Swag, I think Swag is going to drop and Burning Drews is going to take their place because Swag is good. They got they got Chandru, they got a couple of players that they can free hit, but I don't know. I just don't see them carrying through and sticking in top 3. I think they're going to be in 4th, 5th at the end of the season.
I don't know about that. I think they would also contend for top 3 just because look at you got Oyama, you've got Harris, you've got Chandru, you've got Hlavik and IG. Like they're gonna, they got a chance to take it for like no doubt.
Yeah, but if we're putting the Burning Drews top 3, I don't think that and I don't think Finstock Exchange is changing anytime soon because they're doing a pretty good run, and the Den has solid players too. So Swag is either got to get out of there or the Burning Drews are not
top 5, like the top half.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, I could looking at the standings now. I can definitely seeing it with these 4 teams in the fighting it out for the top spot.
All right. Do you like what you see with Swag, Dave?
I really think a lot will be determined based on next week's match between Rogue 2 and the Wicked, I believe it is. So Rockstars versus Swag. If Swag's B team of Hlavik and Liz Shannon Miller can really deliver, and we see that they are that they have the knowledge to get those wins against maybe not top tier teams, or maybe they surprise us and they are a top tier team, then I think Swag will easily reclaim and potentially challenge there. But with Oyama's loss in singles, might be a while before we see him. Harris is a guy who, if he gets back into singles, could potentially get those wins for you, but he may only be playing in a couple things right now. Chandru's got that title shot, so I think Swag is in the most tentative situation where a couple losses will really throw them out of contention.
And I think they got the sleeper of the bunch in Ed Greer.
Yeah, but
if he plays this year.
Dave hit the point, though. It's either break it or break it, because if they have losses, like I said, they got some good talent, but I have a feeling something might just drop here. And the question mark with me is, next week's match, I have no question that Miller is going to kill it. The big question mark is Havlak.
Yeah, because it's been a long time since he's played in teams.
And he's been shaky. I'll just call it. He's been shaky in the past. So as much as he's an interesting character, he's cool. I'm happy for him to have a faction. You put him in singles or in teams, we'll see what gives. I'm not confident.
Yeah, I think he's got a chip in his shoulder. I think he's got a lot to prove. So I feel he's gonna do okay. He's got something to prove.
All right. So then, what an interesting faction. A lot of people this was a controversial faction with the unconventional I pick my friends faction, and it's working out so well right now. Although Finstock Exchange is, way ahead, they're doing pretty good with 10 points. And
that's because the Finstock Exchange of the Montreal Canadiens of the 1970s. Like, come on. They're dominant as all hell.
Yep. All right, so who do you think? The Den, are they going to stay top 2, or are they going to go
easily? Yeah. They got so many heavy hitters. Sean Sullivan proved himself in Star Wars. Silvestrini and Goddard are like the team to beat. I'd have to say, bad more so than Tom and Paul Preston at this point. And you got really no weak players here.
No, and same thing to be said for Finstock Exchange.
Yeah.
They have their top players are the top players. Even their B players are killer right now. So I'm not afraid, and I have a feeling they're going to stay top dog, and they're going to win this whole thing, as a lot of people predicted. You never know. It might crash and burn. something might go awry and the Roman Empire just falls to the ground, but I don't think it's going to change right now.
Yeah, they would definitely need like a colossal disaster to lose top spot, because if you look at the first 4 players listed on their roster, that's Mount Rushmore right there.
Oh yeah, but again, it's a mountain. Mountain can be crumbled, right?
No, yeah, you're not wrong. No, it would definitely take a lot for them to lose that spot.
Yeah. All right, so look, I think that pretty much rounds it out for the league standings. I'm happy we did this because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while, just dissecting every faction, and I can't wait to do this at closer to the end of the season, see how far off or how close on we were in our predictions. All right, so that being said, before we finish our show today, do not forget to subscribe. If you're not, what are you doing? Click that button. Press the like button. It takes 2 seconds, and you're not going to regret it. Don't miss any minute of this show and a lot of other shows we have on Schmoes of the North. If you're not subscribed to our Facebook page, we are a fun bunch, okay? Join us. We got polls. We got all the latest news for Schmoedown, and you get to mingle with the coolest Schmoedown players you can get. AKA basically right now is the dungeon and a couple people, but yeah, we got a lot of things going on the Facebook page. That being said, Mr. Dave, where can we find you today on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at Leaves Me Alone on Twitter, at Baby James Lees on Instagram, and something I just started up over at the YouTube channel Jack of All Trivia. I run a bi-weekly franchise King of the Mountain match, where every match we break down a different and have a trivia contest about different franchises. Coming up this Thursday, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so tune into that.
If you ever do a Rocky one, I shotgun. That is my favorite franchise. I'm putting it now. I'm throwing my hat in the ring for a Rocky match.
All right, and you.
I'm not joking either.
All right, and you, my man, Soda.
You can find me. You can find me all across the platforms at Soda_the_Saxman. That's on Twitter and Facebook. You can also see me hanging around the Patreon for Dan Merle and John Roca, which I just joined this week. Both very fun places to be. Very, very good patrons. I can't wait to see what Dan brings with his monthly movie club that he's launching. So yeah, that's pretty much where you can always find me, is either on Twitter, Instagram, or all over Discord.
All right, and for me, the Northern Schmoes Twitter is the main place you can find me, either that or on Facebook, or simply you can find me in bed because I'm tired and I work tomorrow. Bye-bye.